this, we did that, we did that. That's what I'm asking, not the overall.
But I've given you some of the projects we have done. Are you saying that the 400 million is part of the Garrett project? You are saying that is a different funding.
I said it's for National Flood Control Program.
Is it part of the Garrett project? You see, let's not confuse issues.
I am not talking about Garrett. I'm just saying that. And earlier, perhaps I should refresh our memory.
How am I supposed to do that?
The reason I'm asking the question, you talk about the need for the president to take responsibility. And I'm asking the question that, okay, within this last period, we've had monies for various projects.
What period are you defining?
We're talking about between 2013 up until now.
Okay, so
we've
that's
had
good.
money for, and I think I did mention it earlier. So the question I asked was, looking at the impact, what we saw yesterday, it seems like we didn't even do anything at all.
That is a broader...
In as much as we admit that the flooding issue in a...
President for a year and 6 months, I expect him to take responsibility, because in opposition, he promised that when he becomes a president, he's going to take responsibility. In fact, if I finish what I'm reading, he says that my commitment is to prevent floods and offer solutions.
So I'm asking you a specific question of, when you say the president should have taken responsibility, what specifically were you expecting him to say?
I am expecting the president to say that the government also has responsibility in making sure we prevent the flooding as they promised.
You didn't hear him say indirectly when he said that we should be demolishing structures in waterways.
I should hear the president say indirectly. The president should take responsibility indirectly. Ghanaians should take responsibility directly, but the president should take it indirectly. Is that what he did?
Guys, sometimes in this media general team, the least said about them, the better. They found a means of roping in the MPP into this current flooding situation. What has that got to do with MPP currently? What has that got to do with MPP? MPP was voted out about 2 years ago. We're in 2026. An issue happens and then you want to bring in the MPP administration. Anyway, Beatrice Adu of TV3, you know her, that's Beatrice Adu. She had a very heated one with Kofi Tonto. You know Kofi Tonto will not bite. He wouldn't allow you to bully him. He wouldn't allow you to cow him. He wouldn't allow you to say things that are not true. And for that matter, this is not a political matter. We were here when the former president, John Dramani Mahama, played politics with flooding. And here we are. And TV3, today you are portioning blame. You want to rope in the MPP. Can we look at this in a national manner? China, people have lost properties. Why stay? Come to my area, Wager area. It's terrible. People don't have any livelihood as it stands now. And you are there trying to bring in MPP so that I can share political losses. This wouldn't bite. Anyway, Kofi Tonto did justice. Guys, before I continue, this is OWURA'S perspective. Please subscribe, you like, you share. And then those of you out there, please be safe. Getting information that the rains are not stopping anytime soon and that we are to expect more torrential rains. So please be safe out there, yourself and your family. Let's go listen to Kofi Tonto as he clashes with Beatrice Adu of TV3.
Read some of the commentary and then also partially the comments the president's page posted. So I also wanted to hear from the president himself his full appreciation of the issue before I comment. Interestingly, from everything the president narrated, he discussed topography, how and where Accra is situated, and then discussed issues around engineering, contrary to his initial comment early this year, when the floods first came, that it was not an engineering problem. But today the president brings it back and says it's an engineering problem, then goes to blame Ghanaians. But then something was missing. The responsibility of the government, the role of the government, largely missing from his commentary, both on Facebook and then also from the 5 minutes video you played. The president said absolutely nothing about the role of the government and where we find ourselves. And that is why I want to read to you what the president said in 2024, just to help us.
His post in May 2024.
May 2024. I'm sure you've come across it before. I just want to read for the benefit of our audience. And this is what the president said. The recent heavy downpours in Accra and other parts of the country have led to extensive destruction of property and, according to reports, the loss of life of a young schoolboy. This has exposed the government's failure to manage and prevent floods effectively and evokes deep concern about its lack of comprehensive flood prevention and management plan. Many areas that in the past were unaffected by flooding today became inundated with least rainfall. So the president is blaming the government at the time. The president is highlighting the fact that other parts of the country where hitherto we had no flooding had been flooded. Then more importantly, the president continues, considering the huge sums of money allegedly spent by this government on draining the Odo and other flood prevention intervention, the present situation is distressing. According to the government, 200 million was spent on the Greater Accra Resilient Integrated Development Plan, which is the GARID. And the president goes on and on and on and on.
So the point you're making is?
The point I'm making, I've already made it, that the president shirks responsibility and blames Ghanaians.
What did you expect him to do for a president who's been in power for a little over 1 year? Or
I expect the president to take responsibility. It doesn't matter how long the president has been in power, because he's been a president before, and he's been a president for 1 year and 6 months. I expect him to take responsibility, because in opposition, he promised that when he becomes a president, he's going to take responsibility. In fact, if I finish what I'm reading, he says that my commitment is to prevent floods and offer solutions.
So I'm asking you a specific question of, when you say the president should have taken responsibility, what specifically were you expecting him to say?
I am expecting the president to say that the government also has responsibility in making sure we prevent the flooding as they promised.
You didn't hear him say indirectly when he said that we should be demolishing structures in waterways.
I should hear the president say indirectly. The president should take responsibility indirectly. Ghanaians should take responsibility directly, but the president should take it indirectly. Is that what he did? No, when President Mahama was blaming Akufo-Addo, did he ask Akufo-Addo to take the responsibility indirectly? How can we, in the greatest of imagination, expect a sitting president to take an indirect responsibility?
2020, we also spent about 450 million Ghana cedis under the National Flood Control Program. So the question people are asking is, where is the evidence of the monies that have been spent to deal with this problem?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, the GARID money is $200 million that first came, or let me not say came as in given to government. That was funding that was secured. But as of June 2024, almost to the end of year 2024, only 130 million had been given to the government of Ghana.
Out of the 200?
Out of the 200, as part of...
Is it the 2019 one?
What?
Because, is it the 2019
No.
one?
The project was secured in 2019.
Okay.
But as of 2024, the funding that had come from that 200 million was 130 million. I have all the data here.
So
I will share the report
rest?
with you. Your producer can share the specific screenshots on the screen from the GARID report. As of that time, in fact, the report I will share with your producer was produced in June 2025. As of that time, the amount that had been released was 68% out of the 200 million. Then, in addition to the 200 million, another $150 million was also secured. When you combine it, that is where you get the 350 million, that money, the figure that's been going around. Combined, 350 is only 36% that has been disbursed or has been utilized.
Where's the rest of the money?
It's with World Bank and the government of Ghana. Because you see, what people have to understand is that when World Bank say that we are giving you X amount of money or you have secured X amount of money, World Bank will not just give the money to you outright. You actually go through what we call progression and then they release it based on performance, just like the IMF funding. IMF, government secured 3 billion with IMF, but they gave it to us in 7 tranches.
So let's assume you are saying that they release it based on performance.
Based on performance. In fact,
So
I have the performance. I have the performance tracker here.
Are you indirectly admitting that you did not perform is the reason they didn't?
No, actually, I don't have to say anything. I'll read to you what the current minister, AJ, went to the garage sites. The current minister, he went to the various garage sites. In fact, this one is May 5th, 2026, here on the garage website. And this is the Minister of Works and Housing speaking. The Minister of Works and Housing and Water Resources, Honorable Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, has expressed satisfaction with the progress of ongoing drainage improvement works in Carnation during a monitoring visit to key project sites under the garage project. This is the Minister of Works and Housing. In fact, I will read the specific quote from the minister to you. According to the minister, quote, "I am satisfied with the pace and quality of work so far, and I encourage the contractors to maintain this momentum to ensure the timely completion of these critical projects," unquote. This is the current minister visiting garage projects. So let it be stated on record that this government itself has admitted the performance of the garage project. So, but the record is this. What I want to state is, let nobody sit here that a Kofi Adu government took $350 million and squandered it. No, that is a fat lie.
And let me get the data correctly. Did you say that you got 38% out of this?
36% out of the 350. I'm giving you 2 different figures. Pay attention. I said the first tranche that was secured was 200 million.
Yes.
Out of the 200 million, the specific number from the garage project is 127 million.
Yes, I got that.
Okay. Another tranche of 150 was secured. Out of that 150, 0 has been released.
The import of my question, the import of my question is, you're saying that you didn't get the full amount, right?
Now, the government has not received the full amount.
Aside from the garage project, for which you quote the minister, the current minister for Works and Housing, the question is still where the evidence of the rest of the...
I'm confused. Are you asking me a question or she's asking me a question?
No, we're having a...
Please, just a second.
Okay.
I'm asking you the question. You're saying that you didn't receive the 400% of it.
Yeah.
So let's assume that the percentages you've given us really are the amount of monies you received.
Yeah.
The question still remains, aside from the garage project that you're quoting the minister on, the evidence of the works that were done. I just quoted to you the 450 million of the National Flood Control Program, among others.
So see, my sister, here's the thing. Here's the thing that we all have to, please, 1 second. We all have to address our minds to. If you listen to the current minister and then you juxtapose it with the previous minister, the argument is that to fight the flooding problem, we need between $5 to $6 billion. Okay? 5 to 6 billion United States dollars. I have just told you, out of the garage, we have only received 127 million.
Mr. Tonto, I'm not sure you're answering my question.
I'm answering your question. Your question you are asking me is 400 something million was spent. I am saying that if you don't put the issues in its proper context, which is what is the total expenditure we need to make to be able to completely eradicate flooding?
So the question is, out of the amount we received, we did this, we did that, we did that. That's what I'm asking, not the overall.
But I've given you some of the projects we have done. Are you saying that the 400 million is part of the garage project? You are saying that that is a different funding,
I said it's for National Flood Control Program.
Is it part of the garage project? You see, let's not confuse issues.
I am not talking about garage. I'm just saying that, and earlier, perhaps I should refresh our memory. I gave the data about the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development. Of course, that's the garage one we're talking about, 200. I've talked about Gamma, which is $150 million. I've talked about another garage, additional financing, 150. Gamma 30 in 2024, and I'm asking you that you've stated that we didn't receive all the monies, as you said. And I'm asking that the ones you received, what specific project, maybe we dredged the order, this is how much it cost us, we did this, this is how much it cost us.
You are stating specific projects that you are seeing the government embarked on. What I would hope for is for you to tell Ghanaians that this is what the project was meant to do. What I responded to was a specific funding, Garrett. Now, there are so many expenditure that will go into flooding mitigation. I mean, from time in memory, how can one person, how can I know every single funding that has gone into flooding since 2025 or 2023 or 2020? I'm one person. The point is, he made a specific comment on Garrett, and I shared my knowledge on Garrett. If you are referencing other expenditure, that is a discussion we can go into. But I specifically answered his comment on Garrett. So for you to throw out a different funding and tell me that I should tell you what that funding went into, how am I supposed to do that?
The reason I'm asking the question, you talk about the need for the president to take responsibility. And I'm asking the question that, okay, within this last period, we've had monies for various projects.
What period are you defining?
We're talking about between 2013 up until now.
Okay, so
we've
that's
had
good.
Money for, and I think I did mention it earlier. So the question I asked was, looking at the impact, what we saw yesterday, it seems like we didn't even do anything at all. That is a broader... In as much as we admit that the flooding issue in Accra is multifaceted.
No problem. I'm saying that is a broader conversation. But you cannot hold me accountable for every money spent over since 2013, you said. You cannot hold me, Kofi Tonto, accountable for what Mahama did and everything. No, that's absolutely unfair to me. The specific request I responded to was what has been claimed that Akufo-Addo received. And I am saying, what Akufo-Addo received is not 350 million. What Akufo-Addo received is 127 million.
You admit that I'm not holding you responsible for what the first administration of the...
But you stated, that's why I asked you a specific question. What time period? And you said 2013.
So I
but how can I be responsible for 2013?
Monies have been spent since 2013, but we're talking specifically. And obviously you're a member of the MPP. We're talking about the period you were in power, the 8 years.
Okay.
The monies that were spent. And again, I don't know whether you want me to go through the monies that were spent again. I've done that.
No.
So if you can just answer that question, and I'll come to Mr. Nati.
First of all, you are introducing a new figure to me, which is another $150 million. That you referenced. You've actually stated two $150 million. You said one is from the Garrett project and another $150 million from another project, if I heard you correctly. You have stated or you have introduced another $150 million. That is new to me. What I responded to was the Garrett. So if there is additional funding that you claim came into the Akufo-Addo government, it's new to me. We'll definitely look into it, but the record is that as far as the Garrett is concerned, Akufo-Addo did not receive $350 million. That is the point that I'm making.
Fair enough. You're making a point about the Garrett project. I want to come back to you, Mr. Alex Nate.
Guys, what more can I say? Everything is politics to these people. Everything is politics. You are bringing in MPP for what reason? The NDC is currently in government. And then this shouldn't even be political. We should just focus on the issues. They are national. Guys, people have lost properties. People have lost livelihoods. Let's focus. People are in pain. Let's not be doing this. Let me not say much. This has been your OWURA'S perspective. Please subscribe, you like, you share. Thank you for watching.